Reptichip sets the standard for reptile substrates. Made from the highest quality coconut available anywhere in the world, Reptichip allows enthusiasts and keepers to provide their reptiles with the necessary humidity and thermoregulation required for your animals to thrive. You can support the podcast by heading to reptichip.com/snakeboy or visit the link in the description below. This episode is brought to you in part by Exoterra. If you're as passionate about reptiles and amphibians as I am, you know that quality matters. I use Exoterra products on all my reptile and amphibian enclosures, which is why I'm excited to be partnering with them. From naturalistic decor to innovative lighting and enclosures of all sizes, Exoterra has everything you need for your cold-blooded companions. Exoterra, make your reptiles feel at home. This episode is brought to you in part by Unlimited Exotic Pets. Every day is Veranda Day for Nick Lillis, and it shows. At Unlimited Exotic Pets, Nick produces high-quality monitor lizards with a deep commitment to ethical care practices and top-tier nutrition. These aren't just pets. They're responsibly bred, ethically raised animals. Whether you're looking for a new companion, starting a breeding project, or anything in between, Nick has you covered. Unlimited Exotic Pets, keeping and breeding quality without limitations. This is the Expert and the Idiot podcast. If you like the show and you'd like to support us, there's a link to our Patreon in the description below. Some benefits include getting access to new episodes up to a month in advance. There's also links to USARK and USARK Florida. If you're not already a member, please sign up. Enjoy the show. Cool. Welcome to episode 109 of The Expert and the Idiot. Today I'm talking to Brandon Wheeler of Morelia House, returning.
What's up, guys? What's up? Thank you, Adam.
What's happening, man? I appreciate you coming by. You a lot's changed since you've been on the last time. I mean, since you've been on the last time, you got a new reptile room. You got a new baby.
Yeah.
We're in a new year.
It's been busy. It's definitely been busy. Yeah. It's I would love to say it's the same routine, but it's not. My entire routine got thrown on its face, and now I'm trying to create a new routine. But you know how it is with young kids. It might be a couple years before I iron this out.
Oh yeah, dude. I remember that. I remember going from having a 2-year-old to having another child, and then you're essentially hitting the reset button. Like you got to go back to square one. Yeah,
which is cool. I mean, she's so worth it. Like it is what it is. You know what I mean? It's just more time. You know, where I used to be in the reptile room when people are awake. Now I come in here when people are sleeping. So it's a lot more time after hours in here, as much as I can get. Because you come home from work now and it's like, here, baby. And I'm like, okay, and I have 4 or 5 hours of that before I'm ready to come do whatever I got to do in the snake room. So I still keep my Saturdays are mine. My wife is awesome. She knows at least one full day a week. Leave me the hell alone. But that's all she gives me now. I get my one day, and everything else is after hours.
Yeah. So do you still have the basement reptile room?
Oh yeah. 100%.
Okay, so you have 2 different reptile rooms.
Mm-hmm.
And are they different temperature-wise, humidity-wise? Like, are you kind of separating species to better? Like, are there certain species that are better suited for one rather than the other?
Yeah, and still slowly kind of working through that, but definitely, the younger diamonds are downstairs. Brettles are downstairs, inlands are downstairs, stuff like that. But I mean, right now, currently, I also have, my retakes down there, which she's kind of in her own little environment. So her cage is always toasty. But then also have Amazon tree boas down there. I still have jungle carpets down there. So I can't keep it like cold.
Mm.
But it definitely naturally drops colder than this room does because the garage is on a mini split. So it stays warmer up here.
This episode is brought to you by Chewy. Most people think of Chewy for dog and cat food, but if you keep reptiles, you should absolutely be using them too. Chewy carries everything from all the brands you trust, like Exoterra, Arcadia, Zoomed, and everything in between. Live feeders to frozen rodents, enclosures, substrate, heat lamps, thermostats, water bowls, misters, and more, all in one place, shipped straight to your door. Sign up for Chewy Plus today, free for 30 days. You get free shipping, 5% rewards, and exclusive offers. I use Chewy, and you should too. Can you walk me through turning the garage into a reptile room, and like what made you decide to do that? Like, was that always part of the plan to turn that into a reptile room?
No, not until the baby was born. I was perfectly happy with my inside reptile room. And then when the baby was born, that became her room and the clock started ticking and I had a deadline to make all this happen.
Mm.
Which was rough because my in-laws were actually living in my garage at the time, while she was pregnant when I was trying to get all this done. So not only did I have like her coming, but I also had to sort out them leaving, which left my window opportunity to accomplish stuff super tight. I wish I would have done a better job finishing it. I like what I have going on here. I love my reptile room, but I mean, if I wasn't in such a rush, I definitely would have, like, I don't know, finished the drywall better and put like a roof of drywall up and, enclosed the ceiling and maybe painted, stuff like that. It is a simple, I was like, whatever, I'm throwing cages in front of it. You'll never see the walls. Let's go.
Yeah.
But definitely could have done a better job polishing that off. But the most important things for me were sink, mini split, and, you know, electrical and insulation. So really insulated everything with a whole bunch of spray foam the walls, spray foam the ceiling, tried to get all that as insulated as I could, and had an electrician come out and run two dedicated lines, one dedicated line to the cages, another dedicated line to the mini split, and then did the plumbing myself. So yeah, it was a lot. But once those things were accomplished, everything else is just throwing cages in.
So walk me through the plumbing. Did you tap into your line, or did you just do like a French drain? Like,
No, I went hard. I geeked out. So yeah, so it was fun, man. I have a crawl space, so I was able to run drain line up to the main and install a sink. Using the crawl space to run pipe, and then just pulled hot and cold, and ran that in PEX all the way up. And when I did it, I kind of ran the drain in a similar way as you would for like a laundry, where there's like a stub out, and then instead ran it all the way across the wall and did a bunch of different stub ups. That way, each of the emerald enclosures have their own drainage. So that all drained straight to the sewer line. And when I brought everything in, I installed a hose bib above my sink and then put that on a sprinkler timer, which is where everything feeds from. So
wow.
I've got the cages all fed off of a hose bib above my sink. It's all on a timer. Everything drains into the sewer system. It's extremely wasteful. I have no idea how much water I'm going to go through every year because of this, but it's extravagant. And nothing that I did here makes sense except for the fact that it's cool and I wanted to geek out and have fun.
Yeah.
But it's not practical, any of it. This is
So what? How is the timer set up?
So it's on Wi-Fi, so I can control it on my phone. And right now I have it turn on only for like 5 minutes at a time, nightly. It turns on for about 5 minutes, like 10 o'clock at night is usually when it kicks. And then in the day, I have fans that run. I just turned off the fans before we started, so you couldn't hear them. But I've fans on timers that run in each of the cages, like computer fans. That way, it'll kind of air it out and dry it during the day, so it stays super humid at night, and then it dries out through the morning. Fan's only on for like an hour at a time.
Dude, that is so cool. I mean, like all that you essentially eliminated all of the negative aspects of a misting system, right? That it'll be first of all, you have to fill a reservoir, which is a pain in the ass.
Yeah,
like I hate. Yeah, anything that I have to fill is annoying, and it's an inconvenience, and it's not streamlined. So you eliminated that. You don't have to worry about a drainage layer or about the substrate becoming too wet because everything's
not any.
Yeah, everything's plumbed to just drain and directly into your sewer, which is super cool
and wasteful.
And, well, yeah. I mean, see, I'm in Florida, so, and I'm on a well, you know, it's like, maybe I'm looking at it the wrong way.
I mean, I could have done it another way, but I didn't. And I didn't. It's probably, so you had Chris Rice on not long ago, and you know, it was actually a conversation with Chris, because Chris tries to tell me all the reasons not to do this shit, and I listen, and then I adapt. I'm like, okay, but why? And for this reason, I'm like, I can fix that, you know, like, okay, but why? For this reason, I can fix that, you know. And I tried to go through all the different cons and just get them squared away. And one other thing I was gonna do is do like a bypass on the drain line so that it could dump into a basin, and then hook up a sub pump that I could put on a timer, and then I could recycle all the water and use the same thing over and over again, and then again open that bypass to drain it out. So that's like one possible way to do it if I wanted to save like probably $500 a year in water use. But I didn't do that because I didn't want to cross contaminate the emeralds with each other's water. And Chris is the one that kind of brought that to my attention. And then I was like, okay, you know what? You're right. So fuck that. We're just putting it all down the drain.
Yeah. Yeah. From that would definitely be a biohazard, right? Because they have to be pooping into that water too, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So just not going that route. Whatever. It is what it is.
I mean, dude, like I just looked it up. 1 ounce of almonds requires 1 to 2.5 gallons of water. And we all love almonds. So, I mean, like, that's so much water, dude.
It's a lot of water. It's a lot of water. I'm gonna say I'm probably dumping, I don't know, 30 gallons of water every time my sprinklers come on.
Wow. That's so much worse than I thought it would be.
Well, I mean, think about it. So open a hose full blast for 5 minutes. How much water does that? Like, open your hose bib for 5 minutes and walk away. How much water comes out?
That's a lot.
It's yeah.
Have you thought about maybe like shortening the duration to like 2 minutes or 1 minute?
No, at first I was going to run it for like a half hour. I mean, that's how I got down to 5.
Holy shit. Wow.
That's why I was like, no, let's do 5 minutes. It's because at a half hour, you're talking about more than like a bathtub.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't need to do that. So yeah, that's how I landed on 5 minutes, is like, okay, how is this still cool and worth doing, but maybe not a bathtub of water a day, you know? So yeah. And anyway, no one should copy this setup.
It's so cool though.
No, this isn't useful. I just got excited, and that's, you get me excited about something, and I'm known to do some stupid shit.
Well, and you're a plumber too on top of it, right? So
I had to geek out, man.
Yeah.
And I got tired of those freaking misting nozzles, because when you have a Mist King, which is how I started, was, you know, using a Mist King at first, and you have to change the freaking nozzles every, like, I don't know, 3 months maybe. The nozzles go bad and they get all clogged, and you have to switch them out. And that's
Really?
just tedious and annoying. And, you go through about a dozen nozzles and you're just like, you know what? We're going to do this different. It's time to make it rain.
Now, what if you were to do it with like RO water? Would you still get the funked up nozzles?
Yeah, I did. I was.
Holy shit.
Everyone's like, it's your water. It's your water. It's your water. Installed an RO system. Zero difference.
Really? That's incredible. Cause I know that like like I said, I'm on well water. So I get hard water deposits. I get the water drops, and the cage ends up looking like trash. And I switched over to RO and man, it's incredible.
Yeah, no, that's good. My water is trash. California water's no joke.
Yeah. What is it just super hard?
Yeah, very.
Okay.
Very. And I don't have a softener. The RO is only going to go so far. But anyway, it's worth it. I don't care. The main thing is I just want to be able to sit in here and look at it and enjoy it and just think it's cool. And, at night I'll come in here right before it's about to rain, or I can turn the rain on whenever I want. I'll just sit here and be like, yeah, it's still cool. All right.
Yeah.
Sweet. And I don't ever have to change the water in the cages, which is awesome. I don't have to worry about changing emeralds ever, because the water bowl's underneath where it rains, and it rains in there so much that it's just like getting fresh freaking water every day. So it's set it and forget it kind of.
So who did you get all your emeralds from?
So I got 2 from Chris Rice. I got 1 from MJ. I got 1 from Ed Marino. I got 1 I'd rather not say. I got 1 from a importer where it was born at his facility from imported gravid female.
Wow.
Yeah, that's 6. Yep, 6.
Dude, that's wild. That is like, I mean, those 3 names are like the top dogs.
Yeah, Ed's cool.
Yeah.
Ed's cool. He's old school, man, but he's got a thing going. I like that guy. I was very pleased to finally be able to get an emerald from Ed. And it's MJ's fault I got into emeralds in the first place. I've always thought they were really cool, but going over to his house and just staring at him totally talked me into it. So I was glad that I finally got one from him. And then Chris is the best dude ever. I love me some Coach Rice. What a solid fucking guy, and there's a bunch of other breeders I'd still like to get emeralds from too, that I just haven't got around to purchasing them from yet. So, I enjoy buying snakes from people. Vote with your dollar for sure, and pick people that are doing stuff you like and go spend money with those people. I mean, it's worth it.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree with that sentiment. I mean, it's like that's like the biggest thing now. And I talked with Kush about this recently, is like, it's so cool with all these podcasts and everything, because you can find somebody that has a listening and then listen to them on a podcast and see if you like them as a person, and like, and or get to know them, have a phone call or something and see how they care for their animals and what their intentions are, and like, you see that with Chris Rice and, MJ and like, and obviously, Ed Marino is, he's got his own Facebook group and all that, and just top tier animals. But so who are some of the others you would like to get emeralds from?
Well, Ryan Young, I would like to purchase an emerald from Ryan. Mile High Arboreals has done some good stuff. I'd love to see one of their snakes in my collection. Yeah, there's quite a few, Yeah. I definitely chase snakes that I want from people that I like. I don't like just scrolling Morph Market and picking out a snake and being like, I want to buy that snake. Who's selling it? It's more common for me to pick a seller that I like and figure out when he's going to have what I want available and go that route, be patient.
Yeah. Do you keep green tree pythons?
Working on it. Just
Yeah.
getting into it now. So I'm excited. Just bought two Cyclops locality, the Uterensis. And I'm very, very, very excited to work with that locality. I wanted to pick a locality type and stick with it. And my plan is to definitely build a decent sized collection. I would like to have six. I've purchased two so far. I want six. I think that that's a really good starting place. If you're going to do anything with green trees, you're starting with a pair. I'm going to want more than one shot at this, and I've worked with chondros a ton in the past, and I've had a lot of failures over and over again. And I felt like I needed to revisit that, and just that I have unfinished work to do with green tree pythons. So it was a easy next step. You get back into green trees.
What were some of the failures, and what do you think led to those failures?
Well, they taught me the importance of a thermostat. I lost my first couple of green trees early. My first I got was a imported Biak that was fresh imported while I worked at a pet store. I worked at a spot called Radical Reptiles when I was like 19. And we got a fresh import in and bought a Biak. Ended up being just riddled with parasites and having a hard time and being super skinny and not wanting to do the thing. And, took it to the vet and got it dewormed and did all the stuff. And it just didn't make it. So, failed that way. That was kind of my first like imported lesson. And then ended up with a pair from Tom Crutchfield. And I had them in, PVC cages, but with lights instead of heat panels. And I went to work one day in the middle of the summer, and I came home and my air conditioner had broke. So my AC was off in the house the entire day, and it was, 100-degree day or something like that. And I walked into my reptile room, and all of the rats were dead. I was breeding rats in there at the time. All of the rats were dead, and then my parachondros was dead.
Wow.
So that prompted me to get learn about thermostats. I hadn't really used them in my collection at that point. Was running everything with lights and just trying to use the right wattage for what I needed. And that was really the start of what got me to start using heat panels and buying thermostats. So that was almost 20 years ago. No, that was like 18 years ago, 17 years ago, something like that. I was probably 22, 23 at that time. Yeah. And then after that, I had a pair where one died for unknown reasons. And then I took that sire or my male, and I did a breeding loan with a buddy of mine who lived like literally down the street. He was like a 5-minute drive down the road. He had a beautiful female, bred her to him, got the clutch, hatched the clutch, had 6 babies hatch. Not a single one of them established. We lost all the babies, and then that female never recovered from giving birth. She died, and then I ended up just giving him my male and just being like, "Here, you can have this. Good luck." And that was my last run with green tree pythons. That was probably 7 years ago.
Wow.
Something like that. Yeah. So it's been about 6-7 years since I've done the chondro thing.
Damn, man. Yeah, that's what I do. I do dialed in wattage, with just heat bulbs, but I have the technology in place that I have temperature sensors all around my house. So if something isn't working, like if my AC is not working, I'm getting notifications, and then I can go in and turn lights off if I have to.
Yeah, that works now. That shit didn't exist back when, I was having those problems.
Yeah, exactly. You said that was 15 or 17 years ago or something?
Probably 18 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah, shit.
Yeah, it was a while ago. It was a while ago. So I've had a long run of success and failure with green tree pythons, but I've never kept more than a pair at a time. And
Mm.
things are different now, and it's time for me to do it again. I get these goals in my head that I want to accomplish, and just things that I feel like I want to do before I die. And establishing a nice group of chondros and getting them to reproduce and doing something and slapping my name on something. When it comes to green trees, it's on the bucket list. I have to do that still.
Was a goal of yours to sell snakes to Nick Mutton?
No, but it was cool. I've sold quite a few snakes to Nick, actually. Yeah, no, I love that. That's the
pretty
homie,
epic.
man.
Yeah.
I appreciate that guy. You talk about somebody who really shaped my path. Nick's the man.
He is the man. And I feel like a lot of people just don't even know who he is as a person, and it's like, I talked to him on his birthday, and I talked to him until my phone died,
Dude, you too? How many did I don't think he got off the phone on his birthday. I really don't. I woke him up. I was his first call. I got his ass out of bed.
Nice. Yeah, he's such a good dude and a very encouraging guy. And yeah, you talk to him and the stories he has, and just the experiences he's had and traveling the world, and just he's been through a lot, and he knows a thing or two. That's for damn sure.
He's focused and relentless and never stops.
Yeah.
Relentless, I think, is a really good word for Nick, because he really doesn't hit the brakes on himself. He keeps going. He pushes through. There's no clock in, clock out with him. It's just go. And, even when he's not going hard on snakes, then he's going hard on a book, or he's going hard with his cars, or he's going hard, like whatever he's doing, he's not stopping.
Yeah, that's so true. Yeah. I mean, you get off the phone with him and you're like, man, I need to keep working hard, because he'll tell you about where he started and where he is now and how much effort and focus it took, and that stuff like that inspires me, to try harder and do better.
I don't know where he finds time to learn half of this crap.
Oh my God, dude. The stuff he has memorized is nuts.
Dude, like who has time to learn that? Like he's so busy, but yet he's still absorbing knowledge. He's someone that I'm proud to look up to. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. No, Nick has made a huge difference in my life and a huge effect in my life, and I appreciate him very much.
Yeah. So talking about goals, having, wanting to successfully keep and breed chondros as a goal before you die. Now that we're in the new year, like what are some goals you have for 2026?
Moluccan pythons.
Okay.
I have to hit. Yes, you. He's right there. I need him to get to work. The female seems maybe. I mean, I think we're gonna go. We're in kind of like this little like unofficial race to see who gets the clutch first, because we've got me, Steven, Patrick. I know there's a couple other people that all have siblings from the same clutch of Moluccan pythons, and this is the first year that they are definitely going to be breedable and to size to where one of us could theoretically get eggs. And I just who's going to do it first?
Yeah. Who else has produced those?
Other than Marcel. So Marcel produced these. I think Yasser did it a really long time ago. Shit, off the top of my head, I'm having a hard time. I don't know if VPI did.
Okay.
Not very many, dude. It's a really small handful. You're talking like 3 or 4 clutches that are like, happened in the last 20 years that I'm aware of. So
And
not a lot.
what I'm trying to look up right now. What is their scientific name? Do you know off the top of your head?
Clastolepis.
Clastolepis. That's right. That's one I can have.
Yeah, you can. Yeah,
That's
the
one I can
clastos are
have.
legal for you. You can do that.
Yeah. They sure are cool looking. God dang, they're
Kind of a
beautiful.
gray area loophole, but we'll take it.
I mean, hey, I can't have King Horneye, but who amongst us can?
You can't have amnestine either, can you?
That is correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I can have I can have everything else. It's
You can do
Amethysteina.
Nada's fine.
Yep. They're Florida legal. And Halms are legal.
Nice.
And Moluccans.
Nice.
It's Amethysteina and King Horneye, which is kind of silly.
Yeah. Florida laws are fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, as far as this year, that's my one. Like I that would mean the most to me. But there's also a jungle clutch I'm really excited about. I have a girl, Alchemy, who's really cool and just beautiful, and I really want to reproduce from her, and that would be an awesome jungle clutch to get, and just something I've wanted for a long time. This is my first shot at rough scales. I don't think they're gonna go. The pair just doesn't seem interested. I think maybe the female needs another year before she's ready to rock. The male's a little bigger. She's like 4, so she should be able to go, but I don't know. Based on the behaviors that I'm seeing with them paired right now, I don't really have my hopes up for that. It'd be cool to hit other things that I've already hit before, but definitely the Moluccans.
Nice. What about your ivory project? Are you taking the year off with them, or are they pairing up?
No, they're paired. Year? Yeah, no, she looks great. She snapped back like immediately, ready to rock and roll. And she's even gained a little bit of weight. So she's looking good. They are paired, they have locked, so we'll see what happens.
Hell yeah. Are you your name is Morelia House. Are you still is Morelia number 1 in your projects? Is that always going to be number 1 as Morelia?
Mm-hmm. I will never not do jungle carpets. Carpets, diamonds, they're here to stay. I know I've been adding a lot of Corrales lately with my Amazon tree boas and emerald tree boas and basins and all that. And don't get me wrong, I love everything that lives on a branch. But I did feel like I needed to balance that out with the green trees as well. It's like, dude, your Morelia house, you get a lot of Corrales here. Let's balance this a little bit, tilt into what you're doing, So
yeah.
But they should probably be chondropythons still anyway. So are they really Morelia?
Yeah. The answer is no. If you ask Nick, the answer is no. So what about shows and travel for this year? Like, what are you planning? Like, what are things you absolutely cannot miss this year?
So Pomona's next weekend. So super amped on Pomona. That's going to be a good run, and I'm excited about it. And I'll have just one display full of stuff. I don't have that much stuff for sale. Last year was a good year for me. I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 litters or clutches. But I don't have that much left. I've got enough to fill one display case, but that's kind of it. So we'll see how Pomona does. And once I'm done there, then whatever's left, I'll just probably sell on Morph Market. No need for me to really travel and vend. I would love to get to the point where I don't have a choice and I have to vend. That means I'm doing something right. But in the meantime, everything sells online pretty effortlessly. I don't even have anything really on Morph Market right now just because I want to have snakes to bring to Pomona. So, but it would be cool to be able to justify having my own booth and not just freeloading on the trap booth, which is what I'm going to do this year. Thank you, MJ. But
it's good to have friends.
yeah, because I don't have that much stuff. I want to come vend, I want to hang out, I want to have fun, but I can't I don't need to fill up a whole booth to do it. Just give me a display and 3 or 4 other people hanging out behind the booth to watch it, so I can roll around and do what I do. Keep it easy. Keep it easy.
Yeah. What about travel? Do you plan on going out of state for anything? Are you hopeful for a Northeast carpet fest?
I would travel for a carpet fest. Yeah. I would travel for a carpet fest. We did Texas Carpet Fest this year. So much fun. What a great trip, man. That Reptilandia that Ari's got going on in Texas is freaking rad. And man, those Texas guys are great. I wanted to do a good first round. And so that was fun. But if they do Northeast Carpet Fest this year, 100%, yes. Definitely going to be there. I love Eric and Owen, and Eric's house is great. And that's been fun every time. I've been to a couple of carpet fests up there now, and I look forward to the next one. I guess there's going to be a carpet fest in Florida too. Like there's supposed to be a Southeast Carpet Fest, I think.
Yep. And I, you know what? Since we're talking about it, I better do the right thing and actually pull it up. I think it's going to be.
Is it February?
Or
am I tripping?
Golly. No, you might be right. I'm kind of ashamed that I don't know. It's Tampa Snakes that's putting it on, right? The
only reason I think it's February is they asked me for a t-shirt. So
yeah.
I had to order t-shirts. It's been a while.
All right. So Tampa Carpet Fest. Let's see here. Information. They got a nice shirt. That's for sure. Let's see here. February 7th at 4 p.m. Saturday.
There you go.
There you go. I'm going to have to go. I mean, it's an hour from my house.
I would love to. I can't. It's not. It's not in the cards. Not in the cards. I will be, God willing, skiing in Park City that week.
Oh, nice.
You got to do what you got to do, man. Snow. Yeah. February's snow time.
Yeah.
Scarf
for
turns,
sure.
hit mountain.
So Texas Carpet Fest is that mandatory for you? Is the next one going to be at Reptilandia?
I don't know. Whatever they do a great job. They've had a couple at Reptilandia. I can't do multiple right now. I'm doing a ski trip this year, and then my family's going to take a cruise this year. So that pretty much chews up the old vacation days. So, as long as the Northeast guys put on a carpet fest, I'm known to fly in on a Friday, fly out on a Sunday type thing. But other than that, I'm pretty shot until my kids are older.
Yeah, for sure. I'm kind of at that perfect place where I have an 8-year-old and a 10-year-old, and
perfect.
Yeah, I told my wife, I was like, this year I got to do more travel. I need to get out.
Come to Pomona.
Dude, I want to.
Trap
There's Yeah, that too. Trap Fest, Pomona. I've never been to California, and dude, every Californian I have on this podcast, they're the coolest people.
Oh, we appreciate that. Thank you.
And it seems like nobody ever wants to leave California. Like, people just love it too much.
There's a lot of people leaving California, but I'll tell you, you always come back, and it's a lot easier to leave than it is to come back. Coming back to California sucks. Leaving's great. Coming back's terrible.
Yeah. Because you could make all the money, sell your house, and then go to Tennessee. Have a bunch of money left over, and you're good to go. And then if you want to go back,
work the other way.
Yeah, no, you're screwed.
That's what I did twice.
That's hilarious. So were you born in California?
Orange County. Yep.
Okay. And then you left, and then you came back, and then you left again.
And then I came back, and then I left again, and then I came back. Yeah.
What's the story there?
I mean, in my youth, I was just sort of a troubled youth. So I got kicked out of my mom's house. I mean, started out in California. We all moved to Utah. I was skiing competitively and loving every second of it, having the best time ever. But I got into some trouble, and my mom, being a single mother trying to raise me as a teenager, it was becoming very difficult. So she kicked me out and sent me to come live with Bio Dad in California for a little while, and it only worked for like 6-8 months, and then I moved back to Utah. And at that point, my mom didn't live there anymore. She lived in Tennessee, so she was married to my current father, and living in Tennessee. So I moved back to Utah by myself, which worked out really great until I got in trouble. And then I needed to leave the state, wasn't allowed to leave California for a couple of years, really long story. Got out of that and realized that I had no idea what the hell I was doing. I was a 20, 21-year-old, just broke and no hope of being able to make enough money to pay my own bills. So I tucked tail and moved to Knoxville, Tennessee to be with family. Which worked out great. Had a lot of fun. Bought a house out there. Started a career in the restaurant industry, and started really building my reptile collection. And that was kind of it was just a great place to spend my 20s. And that worked out really well until there was this chick, and I couldn't get away from her. And she was, I couldn't escape her. So I sold my house and everything that I owned, and including all the animals that didn't fit inside of my Mazda 3. I owned a house. I had a full reptile room. I had all the furniture. I had a good career, and I quit the job and I sold literally everything that didn't fit in my Mazda. And I drove back to California and restarted life.
Holy cow, dude. Okay. Yeah. And that's crazy that out of all the states, I chose Tennessee. And I didn't know that about you. I didn't know that you lived in Tennessee.
That's where, I lived in Knoxville for like 7 years, something like that.
Wow.
8 years.
Dude, that's crazy because you're such a good dad and a provider, and you're raising your kids right. You spend time with your kids. You're a great husband.
Thanks.
But you had like all that stuff that you went through when you were younger, which I didn't know that about you either.
It's been a hell of a ride. I should write a book. It'd be fun to read.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, so what got you on like the straight and narrow? What got you, what put things in perspective instead of, cause a lot of people, they kind of get into that loop, and it's hard to get out of it.
So I lived in a homeless shelter in downtown Los Angeles called Hope for Homeless Youth. That used to be located at the Dream Center for about 1.5 years. And the Dream Center was the old Queen of Angels hospital that closed down as a hospital. A church bought it and then turned it into like a rehab type facility where they brought in ex-cons off the streets and, out of prisons and people that are on parole. And you go through the program, and that's where you kind of learn to work and, do all the things in order to become a good, prominent member of society. It is a pretty serious program, but I'll tell you what, man, you find yourself somewhere like that at 18 years old, and it'll teach you what to appreciate in life, and a little bit of humility. You know what I mean? That set me pretty well in line.
Wow.
Coolest thing that ever happened to me, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it actually worked. You know, that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm in utilities. I work with guys that, have similar backgrounds, and they got their licenses in prison, and it's like when they come out, they just have a different, they're rehabilitated, and they appreciate the freedom.
Yeah. Thankful. It was, is a good way to be. But we did cool stuff there, man. There was this coffee house every Friday night where we used to bring homeless people in off the street, and they played Christian punk rock music there. There was all these Christian punk rock bands that we'd have come through, and we let all the homeless people shower and feed them and give them socks, and then put them back on the bus and drop them off where we found them, unless they wanted to join the program and stay, which they could. And that was probably one of the coolest things I've ever been a part of. Because there's people I found under bridges that are currently still my Facebook friends with families that are doing great. And that's cool.
Dude, that's crazy, man. That gave me chills. That's nuts.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. It was a very, very pivotal point in my life.
Wow. Dude, that's wild. That is so crazy. And like, and here you are, like killing it. You've got your job, you got your multiple snake rooms, you're out there slinging jungles.
I am blessed. It's worked out all right. I'm happy with the way my life's gone so far, and I'm looking at this now like, God, what am I doing? Cause I'll be 40 in 3 weeks.
Wow.
So we're at the halfway point. I'm halfway dead.
Yeah, man.
Starting to turn around, look on the backside, like, all right, it's been a fun first half. Where are we going the rest of the game?
Yeah, isn't that wild? It's crazy. I never thought I would think about that as soon as it hit me. I mean, I'm going to be 36 this year. So it's like you start looking at it in sort of that way. And I didn't think it would happen this early in life.
Yeah. One thing's for sure, man, in this room, I'm going to do it till I die. Maybe it'll be a different room with different size cages, but if there's one thing that's been very, very consistent my entire life, it's this, just in different phases and orders.
And do you think that like reptiles, do they keep, is it like something that keeps you centered and keeps you focused?
Yeah. Keeps me busy, keeps me home, keeps me broke.
But you're reproducing animals. Aren't you making tons of money?
Dude, no. People, I still haven't figured out how that works. No, not at all. I'm, and it's just, I just don't spend it. I reinvest it back into itself. I sell $12,000 or $15,000 worth of snakes in a year, maybe 20, something like that. And, you buy a basin. Fuck, next year you do something like that again. This year, I'm going to end up with like 6 Cyclops Mountain green tree pythons. Who knows what I'll do next year, but I'll use snake money to do it. And I try not to spend snake money on anything except this growing, and it's freaking grown. So it's fun. My goal, man, is I want to retire when I'm 55. So I got 15 years left to sort this out, before I want to quit my day job. And then I just want to be able to do snakes the rest of my life. If I can do it earlier than that, that's great. But dude, I got a baby girl. I live in California. Not, the cards haven't really fallen like that. But if I could at least have a retirement that's like at a reasonable age, which I think 55 would be rad, then cool. This was worth it.
Yeah, I think that's a really decent goal, and I mean, you say retire, but are you really going to be retired, or are you just going to go harder with snakes?
Oh, I'm just going to go harder with snakes, but that doesn't count, dude. It's snakes.
Yeah.
It doesn't count. I mean, I get it. You talk to the guys that actually do this for a living and this is work. Nah, dude, there's a difference between waking up every day and having to do something and waking up every day and getting to do something. And, there's one day I will draw that line for myself.
Yeah. How many animals are you at right now? Adult animals?
I think 40. I'd have to sit and think about it, but 40 is that's kind of where I stay. Because whenever I bring animals in, a lot of times I shuffle animals out. I'm not necessarily trying to build higher numbers as much as I am higher quality. I don't necessarily want more snakes, but I do want to what I produce to be more on an investment level.
Hmm.
You always got to have the pet stuff for the kids. I'm always going to have jungle carpets. I'm always going to have, those snakes that you can charge $300 for, to somebody who wants their first snake that's not ready to throw money in yet. But I would like to have some of that, not all, because for a lot of years, all I was doing is producing $300 or $400 snakes. I might produce 50 or 60 of them, which is dope. But I'd way rather produce 50 or 60, $1,000 snakes.
Yeah.
Something like that, and again, I'm not keeping the money, I invest it, it's not, I don't need it. It's not what I use to survive, but I'm also trying not to use my personal money for any of this either. So it's kind of a weird balancing act that we play.
Yeah. The initial investment, when you have to use your money that you earned at your job, that's got to be the hardest part, right? And then getting established and starting to produce animals and everything.
And that's what I think a lot of people don't understand is like, oh my God, how could you spend $7,000 on a snake? Well, you sell $2,500 snakes, and then you take that money, and then you spend that money on the snake. You got to treat it like monopoly money. It's not, you don't be using your paycheck to buy freaking,
Yeah.
You get there, you get there, because that's the responsible way to do it, in my opinion. Produce the clutch, sell the whole clutch, do all the work, and then that one or two expensive animals that you get at the end of it, that's your prize.
Yeah. Are your animals like your emeralds, are they hands off, or do you handle them? Like, do you have certain animals where you're just like, I just look at them, you don't want to fuss around with them too much and, potentially throw something off, or are you totally cool with just pulling one out?
No, just pull them out. They're all great. That totally depends on the individual's temperament more so than the species. Because I have individual jungle carpets that don't want me anywhere near them. And then I have some that are really fine that I handle all the time. I just respect each animal's individual personality. And, if it's one that's going to stress out more than the other one, then I'll grab the other one.
So if you have somebody that's like coming to you and they say they want a pet jungle carpet, are you going to steer them away from what the animal looks like and more towards the temperament? Like if they're going to have one animal and they want to interact with it, wouldn't it suck if that one has the personality of like, don't touch me?
Yeah, I think with an ample amount of attention, you can curve that a bit. These animals do learn, like, yeah, they're all their own individual personalities. Sure. But like, if you're super persistent with one, you can turn it for the most part. I think the amount of effort that you put into that has a lot to do with it. At the end of the day, I just don't really care if I get bit that much. So like taming my own collection, it's really because of my son is the only reason I've spent the time to care. I like to do the dance, like I like it when they got a little snap to them. I like it when I have to kind of double take and sort of be careful and like maneuver a little bit and like that. That's fun for me. I like that. But if somebody is trying to buy their first pet, not so much. So I handle the babies a lot. And my son handles the babies a lot. What I like to do is, my son, he sucks at like staying on task, just, for any extended period of time. But what I can count on him on is if I need to clean tubs, take the baby out, hand it to kid plays, clean tub, put back next, and my son, he's pretty good at dealing with that. So, he does a lot of the taming.
Nice. Yeah, he just sounds like like an American boy, just a human boy.
Yeah. I like him. Definitely boy. All boy.
Yeah, I like mine too. They're the other day, one of them asked me, he goes, do I have ADHD? And he's like, because I can't stay still at school and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, dude, you just want to move around. You're just a kid, like Maybe you do, maybe you do, but at the same time, like, you need to be able to have time to run around and be a kid too.
Yeah, you got to run them. They're like dogs.
Yeah.
Like my dog needs to go run, and my kid needs to same skate park, exercise, outside activity. Got to have it. Otherwise, he gets crazy.
Yeah. So 40 adult animals, and you're big on actual cages, right? So that that's a limiting factor, right? Like, your collection could be a lot bigger if you just had ARS racks or freedom breeders.
Oh, If I set this up like that, I mean, I could retire and not have to work anymore and make enough money selling snakes to where that would be my thing. But what am I sacrificing? I don't know. I don't want to. I don't want to do that. That's not how I want to do it. This is how I want to do it. This is what feels good to me to do, And I feel like we should do the best that we can for these animals, and I don't always do that. I don't want to make it seem like I do, because, like, for instance, none of this crap has UV on it. It's all LED. I'm not going that route. I don't have anything bioactive or anything like that. So, like, the advancing herp guys, I'll probably freaking hate what I do and want me to change all of it. But at the flip side, like, I don't want to have to open up a tub to see my snake. I want to be able to sit and look at it and enjoy it. And I want it to be able to climb on a branch and bask and chill. I want to see it wrapped around something when it's hungry, getting, perched. That's why I like arboreal snakes.
Yeah.
So, like, why are we doing this?
Yeah. So why do you think that is important to you? And I kind of want to get into this topic of, like, virtue signaling, where sometimes it feels like it is, so, like, the whole debate of, rack and tub versus cage. And, some people kind of, put out there, oh, well, I keep in a cage, therefore I am more virtuous. And then you get the other side that says, well, I keep in tub and racks, and you should appreciate everything that's come before you. And, and then it's just virtue signaling to a different group of people. I feel like virtue signaling is done by everybody. Even me saying this right now is
a form of virtue signaling. Thank you.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, yep. Dude. That's
what I'm saying. Yeah. What I'm saying right now, I am signaling that I have a greater understanding than anybody else, or whatever, even though it's sort of a philosophical discussion, and trying to get a grasp on what we're actually doing.
Anybody who goes on a post and says this person is virtue signaling, blah, 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 is indeed themselves actually virtue signaling. Don't get it twisted. I love and respect everybody that's doing all this stuff, man. All my mentors are keeping in racks and tubs, and my babies are in racks and tubs, and that's the best way to do it. For me, I think this is the best way to do it. Number one, because I can sit here and enjoy it. And if I'm looking at a bunch of tubs, I don't enjoy it. Number two, because again, I feel like everything should have enough room to climb and kind of do its thing. And I want to be able to be hands off. When you have a room full of tubs, you have no idea what's going on in your reptile room. All you get a glimpse of anything is when you're changing waters and opening up the tubs. That's it, and I do leave a lot of my stuff alone. You know what I mean? And, there's so many different ways to do this, and I can just do what's best for me, man.
Yeah. It just happens that what's best for you is also probably what's better for the animal in regards to having more space, right?
Yeah. And I mean, and I wish I had more space. I mean, I still have some of the Reptile basic 12-inch tall, the 4x2 by 12 tall. I freaking hate those cages, but I still have them. But at first everything was in those. I was like, yeah, PVC, and they were all 12 tall. I'm like, all right, 15. We get 3 more inches, which for the record, dude, that 3 inches freaking matters. It really is the difference of whether or not you can put a perch in the cage, is that step between 12 inches and 15 inches. But 24 tall is what it seems to be the most comfortable for what I want to do as far as the enclosure setups and putting the boxes in that I want to put in, the shelves that I want to put in, the basking perches that I want to put in, and just to kind of see the activity that I'm looking for out of my snakes. I have 12 tall, 15 tall, 18 tall, 24 tall. I've got a 36 tall, 48 tall, outdoor enclosure, giant freaking retake cage. I don't even know how big that thing is. So, all the sizes I have. And ideally for me, I think 24 tall is genuinely as perfect as I'm going to find to suit my needs.
Yeah. Yeah. I have, I'm fortunate enough that I have a guy that makes custom cages for me.
Nice.
And so I can say to him like, hey, instead of 24, can we do 30? Well, yeah, it's going to be an extra $50 per cage. Okay. No big deal. And the cages are awesome. And like, that's what I have all my jungles in is 30-inch tall enclosures, and it's super cool. And they're always perched. I never see them on the bottom, except for my male right now. One of my males is cruising like crazy.
Put him in with a girl, dude. It's time.
I don't have any girls old enough. I think my oldest girl is a 23 from Nick.
Yeah, she's not ready. Next year.
Next year? You think next year?
I don't know. It depends on how fast you fed her. You could have had her there next year. Depends on you.
Yeah. Well, and then that's another thing, right? Like I could virtuously say, I am feeding her super slow and growing her as slow as possible. But, even that, we don't know if that's the right thing to do, right?
I do both. And there, in my collection, there are times of plenty and there's times of famine. So, mine are starved half the year and fed a lot, really gluttonously the other half of the year. I'll just throw food down them for, 5 months, 6 months. And then the other 6 months, dude, they hate me. The males are like, fuck you.
Yeah. It's pretty wild. It's my, I have a boa imperator, and they went about 6 weeks without eating, but it didn't cool off as much as I thought it would. So I threw them a rat, and now it's been probably another 4 weeks, and it's going to be that way for a while. And I went in her cage, and she did not look like she was going to bite. She was just flat, just laying completely flat. And I went in there to fix a plant, and dude, she bit and wrapped my thumb. And my initial response was I yanked back. And as soon as I felt she was deeply embedded into my thumb, I just gave her my arm and let her go. And my son, Benjamin, I just called and I was like, hey, somebody bring me the spray bottle of Listerine, and they brought it in, and I gave a quick little spray, and she let go. And dude, I swear the letting go was more painful than the bite, because she was just like, let me get these teeth out of you as fast as possible, and she's like rattling her head back and forth. Holy shit, dude. Her teeth are so long. It was surprising how deep those wounds went.
Wasn't it like a little satisfying though? Like
it was humbling.
A little bit. Like that release, you're like,
oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It was so uncomfortable. One of her longest teeth went directly behind my thumbnail under the skin and hit the thumbnail under my skin,
Yeah. I had a blood python tooth stuck in my pinky knuckle for like 6 months. Long time. I was just hanging out with Tony for New Year's, and you can see my knuckle. That's a nice little anaconda. Decided I was a snack.
That's a once a year tradition, right? Is that you hold the anacondas and get bit?
Oh, way more than once a year, but yeah, it's more of a quarterly tradition. But yeah, I frequent. frequently do.
Tony's such a good guy. You're so lucky to have so many cool people around you.
Yes, I am. Everyone needs a Tony.
Yeah, I need a Tony.
Mm.
I wish I could move to California, honestly.
You don't. It sounds like a better idea than it is.
Yeah, but the people are so cool. I feel like California has such a great concentration of python and boa keepers.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, we roll deep in the reptile community over here. It's yeah.
I mean, there's you, there's MJ, there's Lisa, there's Tony, there's Lucas, you could go on and on.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool retic guys out here, and that's the cool thing is the variety. I mean, we venomous isn't our thing, so python and boas reign supreme. But even like colibri, like it doesn't matter. Pick your poison. It's strong and doing well out here. As far as the hobby's concerned, basically all aspects of the hobby except for crocodilians and venomous. We've got a kind of a firm like if you were to shut down interstate transport, and everybody what was in California was all that we had access to, I don't know that we would lose that much. Some stuff, real rare stuff, monitors could be a problem, but when it comes to snakes, nah. There's somebody here doing everything.
How hard is it? So the venomous thing is interesting too for California because you can just get a fishing license and go collect a native venomous snake, correct?
Yeah. We can have 2 of each of the crotalus that are local found in California. Which I'm not a venomous guy, so I may be wrong, but I think that's like 6 species, and we can have 2 of each of them.
Wow.
So I think you can legally keep 12, give or take.
That's pretty wild. Now, what happens if you get a pair and you reproduce them?
You're not supposed to, I don't think.
Okay.
You can't sell them. You can give them away.
Okay. Interesting.
But they're not allowed to be sold. Don't hang your hat on that. Check California's website. I don't do venomous.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, always know your local regulations.
Yeah, I could be wrong, but that's my understanding.
And California is a big ass state too, so I'm sure it probably varies by county, right?
Yeah, just like anything else, counties are different, cities are different. There's plenty of cities you're not allowed to keep in. People do anyway, just like anywhere else. And there's definitely an underground venomous scene out here for sure. Our local Facebook group, Southern California Reptile Keepers or whatever. I can't tell you how many freaking cobras I've seen posted doing stupid shit, and I'm like, really? You're going to put your fucking monocled cobra on Facebook for everybody to see, Mr. fucking, Joe Schmo from Los Angeles? Like, get out of here, dude.
Wow.
But people are dumb.
What makes you not want to have any venomous? Are you just not attracted to them? It's the kids, right?
Yeah. Kids and, I would like to, again, retire doing this eventually. So my pairings tend to all have a purpose, and you can buy a rattlesnake for like $50. Yeah. I don't really see the point in that. That's just cage space. They're neat. I mean, I've definitely spent my time playing with them. I love a good hook and tail when I have the opportunity, just not out of my own personal collection.
Yeah. Yeah, I realized the other day I'm not allowed to have venomous because I accidentally left a spotted python cage just a crack open, and I came home from work and I'm like doing my health check at the end of the day, which is usually just like a brief walk around, make sure everybody's good, there's no waste out, and I'm like, oh shit, that's cracked open a little bit, and that morning I was doing maintenance and must have just half-ass closed it, and yep, she got out. And dude, I was terrified because I've killed children's pythons in the past.
Dude,
by them getting out.
If it makes you feel any better, a couple weeks ago, I found an emerald tree boa wrapped around my computer monitor in the morning.
That does make me feel better.
One of the basins.
Oh, what?
Dude, I saw the cage and I started freaking out. I called Tony. It's freaking out, and I looked a whole bunch of different areas and I'm looking up and I'm like, fuck, and I go through this like 10 minutes of hell. And then I sit down right in my seat and I look at my computer and it's plain as day, just sitting right in front of me, wrapped in front of the monitor. I'm like, you asshole.
Dude, now that's satisfying. That is relief. You can't yeah.
Yeah. So
no, and a basin.
No venom.
A basin.
Yeah.
Oh my God, dude.
Yeah, it's Drama. It's her name.
Yeah. What a suiting name. What a well-suited name.
Yeah.
Oh man. Dude, yeah, that would have been terrifying. I mean, just dude, when my spotted got out, I'm like looking around and I go over to like our entertainment center and I punch holes in the wall to like run HDMI cables through the wall and have them come down at the bottom. And I'm like, oh my God, dude, this thing could be in a wall. Like this thing could be, like anywhere and I said to my wife, I'm like, the best and worst case scenario is that it's behind the cages because it's such a pain in the ass to pull them out because they're so goddamn heavy. And sure as shit, I started with the easiest stack, which are 3 feet wide. And I pulled it out and got up on a ladder and look over the top. These things are 78 inches tall. So I look over the top and there she is at the bottom. She's opaque and cold and just like, what the fuck is going on? Like out of it, and had to unplug everything, pull the whole stack out, hook her, clean the dog hair off of her face because she was nosing around.
And then people pretend like this doesn't happen to everybody. It happens to everybody.
Yeah.
Most people just don't talk about it on podcasts, but I promise it happens to everybody. And if you're the one guy that's going to virtue signal, oh, not my collection, I'll never, dude, give it a week. Watch, you're next, fucker.
Yeah, man. It's that motorcycle adage, you've either gone down or you're going down, like if it hasn't happened to you yet, just wait.
That's how it goes, man. Especially if you're here long enough, you'll do all the stupid things eventually. That's how I learned my best lessons.
Yeah. I haven't had a snake get out in a long ass time, but it's definitely not the first time. And I've actually had snakes disappear and never to find them again.
I had some pretty good ones. One time I was cleaning Brettle's python enclosure, and she's a big girl, dude. She's every inch of 8 feet. This is a big Brettle's. I've fed her a lot, and I put her in my bathroom so that I could clean her cage, and I was just letting her free roam in the bathroom. And I go to get her, and I can't find her, and I realize that my dumbass didn't have the grate down for the AC vent. And I was like, fuck. And I look in there and I just see this little tail crawl away.
Oh no.
And I'm like, fuck. And I had to crawl under my house and cut luckily I had a, crawl space. I had to go under my house and cut the AC duct out and remove her from the freaking heat vent.
Oh my God, dude.
Well, that was a good one.
That's a harrowing story. Jeez Louise.
That's a good one. And then I think I've said this on a pod, but it's been a really long time. So I got another one. When I was in California, right after leaving Hope for Homeless Youth, the men's home I told you about, I lived with my grandma. And at that time I was working at a pet shop and, starting to build a collection. And I was hanging out at the house and I was in the living room and I had a poplin carpet just cruising around the living room, just, letting him do his thing, and was watching something stupid on TV. And all of a sudden I see him disappear behind a cabinet. I'm like, dude, where did you go? And I pulled the cabinet out, and where there's supposed to be an electrical outlet in the wall, there was no electrical outlet. And the snake crawled into the wall, and it was just like a couple inches were still there, like crawling up. And so I get on my face, and I got my arm in there, and I'm holding on to it, and I'm grabbing the tail, and I'm not letting go, and he's fighting with me. And my 70-year-old grandmother comes home, and she's like, "What's going on?" And I've got the snake half out of the wall, and she's like, "What do I do? What do I do?" And I'm like, "Do you have a hammer?" And she's like, "Yes." And grandma went and got a hammer, and we had to bust a hole in the wall.
Oh my God, dude.
And retrieved said carpet python.
Shit.
Which is pretty freaking funny. She's such a trooper, man. Grandma's awesome.
Yeah. Oh man, that's terrifying.
Uh-huh. What's terrifying is how many more of those stories I have. I mean, you talk about lessons unlearned. But anytime somebody's like, "Oh yeah, my snake's just free roam around I'm like, I want a virtue signal, but it might not be the best idea.
I mean, I don't even think that's virtue signaling. I think it's just like trying to pass on lessons learned.
Dude, telling you, man.
If they can find something to exploit, they will do it, like a small place to hide.
Mm-hmm.
It's in their nature, like it's just how they're wired, is to find the most secure place possible.
Mm-hmm. Speakers, where like the base is open and they can crawl in there. That's a good spot to look. Acoustic guitars, they like those. Closets.
Acoustic guitars.
You never know, man. I'm just saying.
No, yeah. I mean, underneath a refrigerator, like, yeah.
That's
I mean,
great. Hell yeah.
Like inside of a reclining chair. I think I've dealt with that before.
Mattresses. Yeah. Many mattresses have fallen to the blade, having to cut and remove snakes from springs. Yeah, certainly done that.
Yeah. The box springs, especially.
Yeah.
And it's such a dangerous place because, like, if you didn't know that that's where they were and you plop your ass down,
you smush them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oof. Yeah. I had to cut a retic out of a box spring once.
Holy shit, dude.
Oops.
How big of a retic?
6 foot.
Okay.
Still not ideal.
Yeah.
Not ideal.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I let my Argentine out if I'm in the room. I'll keep a close eye on her, or like if I'm like doing maintenance and stuff. But even she, all 6.5 feet of her, all 12.5 pounds of her can disappear really quickly.
I do not let anything on the ground anymore. Like nothing free roams, nothing gets to crawl. Like I will take you outside in the yard and stand next to you while you crawl. And that is as far as you get to go. There will be no more living room snakes. There's no more bathroom snakes. There's no more shutting the door and everything. No, That's how all that other crap that I just said happened in the first place. I don't do that anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. And for me, like I use the heat lamps and everything, and those are up on top of the cages. So like they can flip one of those over and you've got a fire real quick.
Oh yeah. Okay. Hey, we're talking about mistakes that we've made. So this one time, this is after I moved to Tennessee from California. I brought a small collection with me, and I was staying at my parents' house at the time. Getting on my feet, and my stepdad let me keep all of my snakes in his basement. But it was a nice basement, finished basement, pool table, cool place to hang out, and, nice carpet. And I put everything straight on the carpet, and Animal Plastics used to have this heat cord that was real thick that you could buy, that they would have routed and ran in the bottom of the of the enclosures. And I had that on a thermostat, but I had set it on the ground, like straight on the ground. So there was no air gap in between the heat cord and the enclosure and the carpet. And it started to kind of smell. And we weren't really sure what was burning. And it came time for me to move. I moved the cage. Perfect S from the heat cord had burned black all in his carpet.
Oh, man.
There are very few times in my life that my stepdad has been that mad at me.
Yeah.
Very few. But that was one of the good ones.
Yeah. And so you said that was or it wasn't on a thermostat? It just didn't matter.
The inside of it was on a thermostat.
Oh.
So the cage was on the thermostat, but the cord itself wasn't on, the thermostat was doing ambient heat, not cord heat.
Yeah.
So since there was no air gap and it was heating up what it needed to heat up to, that was enough to melt carpet.
Oof.
So make sure your heat cord / tape never sits flush on the carpet.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I had a heat pad, like a Zoom Ed one, heat up a plastic folding table and started getting all melty and warpy.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. What else you got for lessons learned?
Man. I don't know. We'll think of some as the conversation continues, but pretty much any stupid thing that you can possibly do, I've done. I don't count myself as smart, man. I have strengths and weaknesses,
Yeah.
No shortage of mistakes, though.
Yeah, even heat tape, a lot of people don't think about how you're supposed to change that out. I remember Owen McIntyre talked about that. I think when I had him on, and I think he's talked about it on NPR. Like it'll start cooking. It'll get hot spots and cool spots, and the thermostat's ramping it up and starts melting shit.
Yeah, especially with the on-off thermostats. On-off thermostats are not it for heat tape, and everybody wants to use like the little VE 200 or whatever. That it's like an on-off. It doesn't do the proportionate, and that'll toast your heat tape quickly.
Yeah, that's so. How do you set up your herp stats? Because it's kind of funny since you've been on. I got herp stats. I got diamond pythons from you. Because you had eggs when you were on the last time.
Yeah.
That was a solid sales tactic. You came on, you talked to me for a little bit, and I ended up with diamonds.
How are they doing?
They're great. They're outside. They're not loving life. It's cold. The nights are cold, but they're getting used to it. I mean, I kept them inside until I think they were a year or year and a half old. And then they got moved out into a Reptile breeze, and they're killing it out there. They love it.
Nice. I love to hear that.
Yeah. And I have those two girls together, so they cuddle up and they utilize the same hide and everything. And for right now, and I'm sure there's people that could tell me I'm doing the wrong thing by doing that, but I think that they're probably going to live together for their entire life. Like once they get moved into their big outdoor enclosure, why not keep them together?
Yeah, do it. It's just separating to feed. A lot of people hate on the cohab situation, but and I have mixed opinions on it. I guess one thing that I've learned, and I've certainly said this before, but given the opportunity between two different enclosures, if you have two cages set up and there's a link in between and they can pick where they're at, the vast majority of the time they will pick to be in their own cage. One will pick one cage, one will pick the other cage. And other than when they're cruising, they'll cruise back and forth between the two. but they'll generally come to resting spots in their own setups. And I'm not just talking diamonds. I'm talking a lot of mostly scrubs. I've tested this theory with, but that seems to be the case. If given options, they will usually choose to be separate, but not all the time.
Yeah. It's funny when I first put them in the Repti breeze outside, they were separated, and then all of a sudden they would just like ball up, and you couldn't tell where one snake started and the other one ended. They were just like totally in this ball up on a branch with branches everywhere, and then now like they have 3 hides down at the bottom of this thing, and they go into the same hide together. Now, of course, it is cooler, so there's probably an advantage as far as sharing heat,
And I think you just hit the nail on the head. I think it's a resource thing.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's got to be part of the equation. But feeding, I made that mistake.
How'd that go?
If we want to talk about mistakes made, one of them eats really fast and the other one does not.
You had one halfway down on a rat and one finished it and went for the other, and they both took the same rat.
Wasn't even halfway down. She biting wraps and she'll hold on to it for like 30 minutes. I don't know why, but it's just how she rolls. And so she finally unwrapped and started to eat, and the other one ended up eating 2 mice in one sitting.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sucks, right?
And I'm like, all right, well, this is terrifying because that's a huge bulge now that this animal has. But luckily it was the middle of the summer and, she digested it really fast. But yeah, that was a hard lesson to learn. And of course I had that kind of idiot mentality where I'm just sitting there like, oh, I don't know why people say to separate when you feed. It's working fine. It worked 3 times, no problem. And then all of a sudden,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
you can run out of luck really quick.
I'm very fortunate. I've never lost an animal to doing that. Everybody's lived the end, I've, happy endings to all the stories, but for sure, like every 5 years or so, I make the mistake of relearning that lesson, and then I'll be really good about it for a couple years, and then I'll get in a hurry again. The last time was with Amazon tree boas.
Ooh, what happened?
One eats and finishes. The other one goes after it, doesn't even hit the rat, bites the snake instead. So you got one snake squeezing a rat, trying to get it down, while another snake's constricting the snake that's constricting the rat. And then you get this ball of, let me stick these underwater real quick,
Yeah.
But it's stupid. You don't do it. I don't do it anymore. I shouldn't have done it every time that I've done it. Every time that I've done it, I've known better than to do it. There's no excuse other than just being fucking stubborn and dumb.
Yep. Holla. I'm right there with you, buddy.
I have a stubborn problem.
Yep. Yeah, that's and you think you're saving time, but then man, then it's a real time suck to get them separated and, try to coerce the one into not eating the mouse, and you still want it to eat, so it's like, yeah, it's such a, talk about sweating.
Well, and the thing that gets me there every time is I never intentionally like go into the night thinking I'm going to feed both of these snakes in the same enclosure. That's not what happens. What happens is I start thawing out rats, and then I forget that I haven't separated shit yet. And then I'm like, I don't want to get bit right now. And like, I have this extra rat. I wasn't going to feed these, but now like I have the food, and like, and you justify it in your own brain like it's the thing that makes sense, and it's not the thing that makes sense. Don't listen to yourself when you have these ideas.
Yeah, dude, that's basically what happened to me, because I had the tub out there, and I forgot to separate them. And then they're so keyed in on it when you come out, and when you show up with the food, they're so keyed in that you don't want to get bit, and good luck getting them off their branch because they're anchored down now. You know, like there's no way you're getting them out easily. Like it's going to be a fight. And you're like, it'll be fine. It won't be fine. It won't be fine.
It's not fine. No.
Oh man. So walk me through because you're very successful with breeding carpet pythons, and I aspire to be a breeder of carpet pythons. Like what is your strategy? How do you come at breeding your carpet pythons? Like when do you cut off food? When do you introduce? When do you separate? All that good stuff. Like and what do you cycle? Do you cycle temps? Do you cycle food? Like how do you cycle?
Yes. To all of that.
Okay.
So the temps are going to naturally cycle themselves, whether you want them to or not. You don't need to adjust your thermostats to adjust the temperature. It's going to happen if you live in an environment where it's colder outside in certain parts of the year and it's warmer outside. Even if it's just a couple of different degrees, you know, you're going to go through a little bit of a cold cycle, even if you don't intentionally do it. For the food, I kind of already touched on it. Feed heavy during the summer, feed much lighter during the winter. You know, I want to pump them up in fall, you know, as much as possible before I kill it. And then they do, like right now, nothing's eating. I'm not going to feed again until probably February. I'll separate and give some stuff a meal. Usually I start to pair around Thanksgiving, and then I'll pair and then I'll unpair for like a week, and then I'll repair and I'll definitely take males in and out of enclosures. And a lot of times it's just depending on the male. Like, am I seeing breeding activity or not? Is he cruising the cage a bunch, wanting to get out of there? You know, do they look uncomfortable? Are they not really jiving? If so, I'll separate for a couple of days, and then, you know, I'll try again and kind of go that route. But I see the majority of my locks in January usually.
Okay. So we're coming up on it.
Now, yeah, right now, this is, if you are trying to breed carpet pythons and your snakes are not currently together, then you're missing the boat.
And can you define feeding heavy? Like, what does that look like in your book? Is that larger meals?
Every 7 to 10 days.
Okay. And
but
what's that
I'll only
duration
do
of
that
time?
for a couple months, you know?
Okay. So like 2 months of every 7 to 10 days.
Yeah.
And are you doing a larger food item, or are you doing a larger or a smaller item more frequently?
Probably medium sized. I don't really do massive food items usually. I'll push babies and young ones more than I'll push adults. You know, adults, I'll feed smaller meals too, mostly just because a lot of it's because of what I have. But I want to be able to feed quick and boom, 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 boom. I don't want to have massive meals that are going to take them a month to digest. You know what I mean? But again, I'm not doing that all year round. I'm just doing it for a period. That way, you know, they have a time when they can gorge themselves, and they're getting all the calories they need in order to build follicles and rock and roll.
Right on.
Yeah, I'll ease them into it in spring. So like when I start feeding again, it's not heavy, it's light. And then I'll have a couple weeks where I'm like, hey, boom, boom, boom. Maybe I'll feed once a week for a month in like April or something like that. But then I'll tamper off to like an every 3 weeks or so, you know, through summer until I want to pump it up during the fall. So it's, you know, I go up and down with the seasons.
So you ramp up, get their body condition back, and then kind of slow down a little bit, and then ramp up, and then off food.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what about keeping animals smaller? Like, how do you feel about that? Like, do you keep animals smaller, or do you just want them to be whatever size they're going to be naturally, just based off of how you normally feed your whole collection?
Yeah, that one. It's not so much like, oh, I have to keep this small. It's just, you know, I don't want anything to be obese and fat and lethargic. You know, I don't keep berms.
Yeah.
These are tree snakes. They should look like tree snakes. There's no reason to have massive carpet pythons. It's not needed. And I definitely feed females heavier than I feed males. So I keep my males much smaller. I do that on purpose. Number one, so that they'll be better breeders. It seems like with the lean, mean animals a lot more likely to breed. But also, I mean, rats are expensive and males don't need to eat as much.
Yeah.
So
what size rat does a male carpet python get in your collection?
mediums.
Mediums? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, unless they outgrow that to where they need larges. My male diamond python gets larges. He's pretty big, but I got him big. He was already big when he got here. Males typically don't need larger than a medium rat.
Okay. And how are your diamond pythons doing outside?
I don't think they'll breed for me anymore.
Yeah.
One of them I lost this year, so I'm down to a pair now. And
oh man,
it was the one that had not bred for me is the one that passed. And then the pair that's out there now, the one that's the mother of ours, she just feels empty. I don't know how else to put it, but like when you're, palpating and feeling for follicles and, there's a certain body structure that you expect for them to be at, if you're going to have a successful breeding year. And she's not there. And I fed her a lot. I mean, I tried to get her to bounce back as hard as I could, but dude, that snake's probably 22 years old now.
Wow.
And she's been living outside, 5 years now. I've had her outside. Yeah. I don't think they'll I'll be very surprised if I get another clutch from her. They're welcome to stay outside as long as they'll do it, but I don't know if I'll have any more successful breedings. They're paired, so if they want to go, they'll go, but I'm not hanging my hat on it.
Do you plan on keeping your new generation of diamonds outdoors at some point?
Maybe, but I don't like I've talked about this a lot. I don't like my cage outside anymore. I don't like the lack of sun. I have way too much shade. And if I do it with the snakes that I'm raising up, I don't think it'll be in the cage that the adults are in now. I need it to be on something that I could move and roll around to different parts of the yard that are more likely to get sunshine during the day. Because I'm not exaggerating. Right now, currently in the dead of winter, they really only get like 2 or 3 hours of sun a day where they're at. And it's not enough. So they're relying on their heat panels too much. And I don't love it. So probably not.
Okay.
I'll probably do something more like what you're doing.
Yeah.
Because yours, you can move, right?
Yeah. I mean, they're in repti-breeze enclosures. So, but those are just temporary, like where I had some masonry work done on for my enclosure that's out there now. And I was going to move him out in the summer. And I'm like, this is going to be too much, it's going to be too hot because he'll be going from a limited amount of sun to just that cage is going to be blasted with sun basically all day long, until probably 5 p.m. So I want to move him out there into that cage in the spring. I think it'll be more moderate, more, cooler temperatures, and it'll give him time to figure out where he wants to hide when it gets hot and, where he wants to go first thing in the morning, and so, yeah, that'll be my spring plan is to get him into that cage. And then once the girls get bigger, they're going to go into a nice large enclosure that's going to get blasted with a lot of sun, but I'm going to give them a lot of opportunities to get away from it and get into places that are more insulated so they can escape the heat.
Yeah. If I did it again, it would be one of two things, either on casters so I could move it and, kind of a moderately sized portable setup, or stupid and just go full retard and get like build like a 20 by whatever, to
Holy
where
shit.
there's enough room for them to get
Yeah.
sun no matter what time of year it is. That's option B. My wife doesn't love that option. We'll
Yeah.
see.
How cool would that be though? If you had like a 20-foot wide enclosure with like 6 diamond pythons in it.
Well, with like seats in the middle of it and like, like a cool, like hangout spot where you could just like sit in there and chill and hang out and drink coffee and relax and
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. I don't think it's going to happen in this house. I would like to, that's again, before I die, I'd like to do that. So, I'm not going to live in this house forever, maybe another 5 years or something like that. But wherever the next spot is, I'll make sure there's enough sunshine in the yard to do whatever I want.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Yeah. I think I'm probably going to do an 8 by 8 by 7 foot tall cage for the females. So that way I can walk in, easily do maintenance, just have like a full blown door on the front of it. But I kind of want to do like an aviary setup where there's 2 doors, so like you have to go through one door to get into the enclosure. And then, I mean, that's just security too. So nobody swipes my snakes, at least have cameras on it and make it somewhat difficult for somebody to get in there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not necessarily worried about that, but also it's a security thing for them, that it's easy for you to forget to leave one door open, but if you have 2 doors, at least it kind of cuts down on that.
No, it'd be a cool way to do it. Yeah, no, it's a good idea for sure. I love the outdoor keeping, man. I really do. I just wish I was set up better for it. I don't. I just have the cards that I was dealt, and it's worked well for a while, but I wouldn't be surprised. I'm going to probably do a full on backyard remodel, if not this summer, but next summer. So I'll probably uproot that cage and break it down when I do a full remodel. I think we're going to put turf back there and stuff.
Yeah, it's a popular, you're talking like the fake turf, right? Like that's a popular thing in California.
Yeah, water's expensive. I got to save it for emerald enclosures. You ain't got time for sprinklers, bro.
Oh, shit. Are you going to do the same thing with your green tree pythons? Or are you going to set them up the same way?
I get bored.
Yeah.
We'll see. In order to do it, I would need to do it downstairs, and I would need to really rework a lot. It would be intense, but it would be totally doable. I already have floor drains in the basement that's already hooked up to a sub pump, so I could just have it drain right onto the concrete floor, and it would all go down a drain. So the drain part of the plumbing would be really easy, and the water in would also be really easy. It's just a matter of if I want to go through with it. I'm going to say probably not going to happen. But don't threaten me with a couple weeks off and too much money pulling a hole in my pocket, because I've been known to wake up and randomly get motivated.
Hell yeah. Yeah, it's all, it's at some point I'm on a half acre. So at some point I want to have a snake building. And, I love talking about when people set up new snake rooms, and like, especially you with your plumbing experience and all that. It's like,
gotta have a sink.
Yeah, it's so important. Sink and a dishwasher. If I ever get my snake building, that'll be mandatory. Will be a sink.
Gotta have a sink. This is the number one most important thing that Reptile can have, is a sink. A reptile room. No, once you've had a sink in a reptile room, you'll never go back, dude.
Yep.
All the years of lugging buckets of water back and forth. No, sir. No.
Yeah. Last Father's Day, I got one of those Rubbermaid carts,
Mm-hmm.
So I've always got like 7 gallons of RO water on there and a big old, like the black and yellow totes. I've got one of those up on top. So when I do my water changes, just everything goes into that, just dump everything in. And then I have, clean bowls on standby, just put them in, fill it up. But still, I'm still lugging around buckets of water.
Yeah,
But
I got over it. I did it for a lot of years. But I'm very happy that I have sinks in both my reptile rooms now. There's no going back.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to have to make sure I have that plumbed in. Like 2 sinks, like one in like one room and one in the other room. With RO.
Super key.
Yeah. For sure. So let me ask you, I asked you before and then I totally derailed it. Herp stats. How do you set yours up? Like, do you do the dimming and then do you put like a limiter on how high it can go?
Yeah. So what I'll do is I'll set, it's always on the proportionate setting. So the dimming setting. And then, I do like 3 to 6 inches below every heat panel is where the probe is at. Never run multiple panels off of one probe. I know it's tempting. Don't do it. Just kind of test it, because the thing that a lot of people forget to do is make sure that your herp stats are calibrated properly. Because 87 might actually be 85 or 89. So you want to double check it, and then you can change that, like, plus minus 1 or 2 degrees or whatever on the herp stat if you figure out that it's not quite reading right. But yeah, the 3 to 6 inches below. During the daytime, pretty much all of my herp stats are just set to 85 for basking. And then at night, I pretty much turn everything down to, it depends on the species, really. But whatever that species needs. But I'll always start my night drop at like 4 o'clock. So either heat completely shuts off at 4 o'clock or tunes down to 75 or, wherever I need it.
Right on. So you keep that night drop year round?
Yeah. I might change it though. There's some stuff I'll change the night drop. Like for Brettles or inlands or diamonds, I would adjust the night drop, to like, I have the Brettle set to where the night drop's like 55 degrees or something. So effectively the heat's always off, but if it does get a little extra chilly, then it'll kick on. But really heavy with the night drops.
Right on. Yeah, the herp stats are awesome. I got one after we recorded last, and I love them.
I think they're the best. I mean, I have a fucking lot of them. They're great. I have one right here that's like, I think it's as old as me. I mean, it's really old. This thing, I swear, it's like one of their first models. I don't know how old it is, but it's at least a 30-year-old herp stat. I mean, it's from maybe it's 20 something. I don't know. It's old, dude. It's old. It's still doing great.
How is their warranty, or does nobody know because they hold up so well?
Well, I've heard of some failing. I haven't really had any fail. Of course, I unplugged. There. Oh, you're gonna get moved. Yeah, look at that.
Look at that.
Now that's old.
Stat too. Yeah.
You ever seen that one before?
No.
Yeah. Real old. And it's still doing great.
Oh yeah. Yeah, man. I'm a believer. Like once I got a herp stat 1 for like a baby rack, like a quarantine rack, and then next thing you know, I'm getting a herp stat 2 and then a herp stat 4, and yeah.
The 6s are where the money's at, man. You got to get the 6s.
I don't think I need a 6 though.
But it's not that much more than a 4.
Yeah. I guess it's good to be able to have the ability to expand.
When you break it down, you basically get a free probe when you buy a 6.
Yeah, hell yeah. So what were some of the or actually no, I wanted to go back to breeding. So you get your locks, right, in January, and then where do you go from there?
So once I know we're good, and I'll decide that we're good through two things: the male's interest in the female, and palpating, and her nesting behavior. So kind of all three things. But like once I notice that the girl's getting real comfy in her egg box and, basking a specific type of way, then I'll pull them. So
Mm,
I try to make sure that they're good and gravid before I pull the male. There's some people that are really, really, really good at this. That know exactly what to look for. That they'll put their males in for 1 or 2 nights, and boom, the deed's done, and that's it, and that's a wrap. They get eggs. I'm not that guy. I wish I was. I don't have that skill set though, so I definitely keep my pairs together as long as I feel like they need to be.
okay. And once you're separated, like how soon after does the female normally lay?
Mm, it depends. Usually a month out,
Okay.
but I can pretty well nail it down to a month out where I'm like, okay, we're going.
Yeah. And do you ever let the female maternally incubate, or do you always just pull the eggs?
I have. I've had good success and bad success. I've maternally incubated jungle carpets, Macklot's pythons, and Brettles pythons successfully, which is really, really cool and fun to watch. However, I've also done it unsuccessfully and had the eggs not go the distance for one reason or another. And not all moms are good moms. Some are better than others when it comes to hatching eggs. And everybody always says mother knows best, but that's not necessarily always true. And, at the end of the day, I feel like I'm getting better results doing artificial incubation. My goal is to hatch as many snakes as possible. So while I think it's really cool, and I feel like everyone that breeds snakes should do maternally incubation just once for its fun, I think you should do it for the experience. Doing it on a consistent basis with all your pairings, it's going to slow you down because the female is going to come off those eggs in way worse shape if you maternally incubate her than if you pull her right when the eggs are laid. So
Mm,
especially if you're trying to get her built back up to breed again the following year, that's where artificial incubation I think is important because you get a good head start on getting that female up to size so she's ready to rock and roll again. If you want to leave her and give her the next year off, then it doesn't matter. That would be a great time to try maternal incubation, is if you know that you don't care about them pairing the next season and you're not looking to go, 2 clutches in a row.
mm. What kind of incubator do you use? Do you have like are you like sworn to a brand, or do you like, are you just like, the one that works?
I feel so bad that I don't remember the name of the manufacturer of my incubator. It's the one pretty much everybody uses. I got the 48
S-
tall herp.
Sea serpents?
Yes, thank you. Sea
Yep.
serpent.
I figured
That's
that's what it was.
yeah. Yeah, I use the Sea Serpents incubator. It's great. I love it. It's a solid
Hell
incubator.
yeah.
Worth the money. I know they're a little pricey. You're going to drop some coin, especially if it's going to get shipped to you. But I mean, dude, don't go cheap on your freaking incubator. Like if you're trying to pick incubators like on a budget, dude, the difference between 1 or 2 eggs hatching is going to pay for the freaking incubator. So buy the good one.
Yeah. Hell yeah. I
As
need to
someone
get
who's
one.
cooked an entire clutch in a hovabator before and had 0% hatch rates,
Oh no, what happened?
that I didn't, we learn, but you don't want to go cheap on equipment, guys. There are 3 things you don't want to go cheap on: heat, thermostats to control your heat, and freaking incubators.
Yeah. Yeah. So just so everybody knows, so you can go to seaserpents.com and they have the 48-inch tall incubator, and that is $1,075. And they're a Florida company. Yeah, or live in Florida, and you could go probably pick it up at a show or something.
Yeah, that's the way. For sure.
Yeah, it holds 27 6-quart iris tubs.
Or 12 16-quart.
Yeah, there you go.
Which is what I...
So, yeah. Sea serpents seems like that's what the majority of people go with, and people swear by them and love them.
I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, man. It's a good incubator. It's got good heating all through the back, and it holds its temperature. They got the computer fan thing dialed in. Oh, there's all these cool colored LED lights and shit. Make it look all fancy. Let's go see.
Yeah. There you go. Sea serpents. Sea serpents with a herpstat. I think it comes with a VE200 thermostat.
Stupid. Why would you stop? Spend the money, buy the freaking herpstat, man. It's like an extra $20. Just do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not even that dramatic of a price difference. It's such a better product.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, yeah, I got to get one of these sea serpents at some point. Once I know I'm going to have eggs, I guess I should get one then, you know, or once I hope I'm going to have eggs, I'll put it that way.
Once you pair. Once you have your pairs, you know you're going to pair, then get the incubator, because you want to set it up like a month or two early. That way, you know everything everything's and smooth. What do you want to do is race the clock on, oh my God, I have eggs coming, but I don't have my incubator yet. Don't do that. Plan ahead.
Yeah, I'm not about that life. I definitely don't want to be there. What do you...
Because if you're going to get one of the, like, it might take you months to get the freaking incubator, you know? What I
mean?
It's
true.
From the point, like, think about how long it takes to get cages. Like, they're not just already made waiting for you to buy them. Like, they build them after you order them, typically.
Yeah, I wonder if they go to, they have to go to reptile shows in Florida. So that'll probably be my move, is at some point I'll go out to one of their shows and just pick one up.
Yeah, that's the way to go, for sure.
Hell yeah. Sure. Dude, they have so much nice stuff. I'm just looking at pictures on their website. Oh my God.
I know. It's tempting.
Jeez. Everything is really clean looking. What do you set your temps for in your incubator?
86.5.
86.5. And do you do a drop or anything? Like, do you fluctuate it, or do you keep it the same?
The incubator, I do not fluctuate. The egg boxes, I do. So with my egg boxes, I want everything perfectly sealed with like zero ventilation for the first probably month of incubating. And what I'll do is I'll have holes drilled in my egg boxes that I'll put Scotch tape over the holes, and I'll gradually open holes up to allow more ventilation as you get closer to the hatch date. So I'll start with no holes, and then after a month, I'll open one hole, and then in like a week, I'll open another one, and then, 2-3 air holes is, perfectly fine for the snakes hatching. But the eggs will heat up the egg box as they get closer to hatching. So you'll notice your egg box temperature spike the closest you get to your hatch date. So you want to be able to balance that out.
Damn. How much does it heat it up?
You're like 3 or 4 degrees.
Wow. That's pretty crazy.
I know. It's true though.
And do you use perlite?
Yeah. Perlite, vermiculite mix. I like to do both. Okay. I'll incubate all the ways. I've done it over water. I've done it over egg crate. I've done it just in the substrate. Honestly, I pretty much just do it just in the substrate now. I still to this day don't know if I like the egg crate, not the egg crate, light diffuser.
Yeah.
I don't know if I like that method more than just straight in the vermiculite. But as long as you're not, you have to get the vermiculite right. it works great. It's been working for a really long time. It's the old school method. I know these days a lot of people don't like to do that, but as long as you've got like a perfect mix, which I couldn't tell you exactly what that mix is. All I can tell you is that when you squeeze it in your hands, about 2 drops of water should come out. And if it's more than 2, it's too soaked. If you're not getting your 2 drops, you want to add a little bit more. And that's my perfect recipe: is pick it up, squeeze it, about 2 drops of water comes out. For me, that's perfect. That's exactly how much water I want in my mix.
Right on. And then totally sealed, and then you slowly give more airflow as they get closer.
Yep.
Nice. And that is like your secret to success. That's your secret sauce for hatching the eggs.
It's what's been working for me. Yeah, it's what's been working. So I'll stick with it. I wouldn't mind trying some sim container stuff. I've never tried sim containers, but I know John's really, really cool. So I wouldn't mind trying his stuff. I just never have.
Yeah. What size holes are you drilling?
Like 1/8 of an inch.
Okay.
Just drilled it. Yeah, small.
Do you still keep maclots?
No, I have water pythons though.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. No, maclots are cool, man. It's a great species, a lot of fun. I had a lot of success with them early on in life. I produced probably like 4 clutches of maclots. And what a cool ride that was. I learned a lot, had a lot of fun with that. And unfortunately, when I moved, and that's kind of how my collection evolved so much over the years, I kept moving. And I'd have a collection, I'd need to move, I'd cut back. So during that story I told earlier in the pod where I packed up everything that didn't fit in my Mazda 3 and moved to California, that included selling the maclots pythons. And so that was kind of the end of me keeping those, unfortunately. But I had a really fun run with them for 10 years.
Were they? How big were they? Were they like really big? Because I've seen some maclots that are. Oh, they were.
Yeah. I fed the hell out of them. The hell out of them. I had a very different philosophy when it came to feeding than I do now. That's evolved over the years. And at that time, bigger was better. Fast, pump them up, get them as big as I possibly could. I fed them like Burmese pythons, and they bred like rabbits. So take that for what it's worth.
Dude, I've seen some, and they're enormous. And I plan on keeping mine in 4x2 by 3.5, or I'm sorry, 4x2 by 2.5 tall. And, and that's based off of, I have Timor locality, unrelated, from Dennis McNamara. And I look at his animals and I'm like, they're not that big. But then I'll see some and I'm like, those things are fucking huge. It terrifies me, but I guess it all depends on how I'm going to feed them,
Oh yeah. Yeah. You control that. That's your decision to make. We have a lot to say over the size that our animals get.
Yeah,
for sure.
I feel like the only animal that doesn't apply to is my blood pythons. I feel like they grow on air.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's crazy how much
short tails.
You haven't?
No.
Because they're not up in a tree.
Exactly. Exactly.
It's got to be up in a tree. All right. Well, we can. I think we can wrap this up, man. This was a fun chat. One thing I want to ask you about, though, you had touched on Reptilandia before. Like, what was your favorite thing to see at Reptilandia?
Ooh, my favorite time there was hanging out with Patrick Holmes. So Justin Julander had just done his talk and like a slideshow about their herp trip. It was getting late. It was probably around 11 o'clock at night. Everybody was kind of wrapped up, and I saw Patrick with a flashlight, running very excitedly towards the closed zoo, and snuck in through an entrance, and I followed him into said zoo, and we got to go night herping when it was pitch black in the middle of Reptilandia. And man, getting to be able to roll that through that place with nothing but flashlights and watching all the nocturnal behavior of everything was awesome.
Oh, wow.
Really, really cool. They had some dwarf crocodiles that I just kept coming back to. The dwarf crocs are freaking awesome. That was a really cool setup. All the different setups, and really the work and the care that they've put into that place. Everything was cool. Every cage was massive with so much thought put into it, and just being able to see all that was a lot of fun. Coolest animal there, well, the Boland's, obviously. That guy's cool. But he didn't really move. The Boland's python just kind of stayed in one spot like the entire day and night. Like didn't hardly move an inch. Croc monitor setups, unbelievable. I can't believe the amount of effort. It really made me come home and be much less proud of what I've done in my house, in my room, and it made me like, that humbled me.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, this is what they're talking about. This is what.
Yeah.
This is. Yeah. Very, very, very impressive place.
Did you change anything when you got home? Is there anything that like inspired you, or you were like, maybe I could tweak this or try to do this differently?
No, I mean, inevitably, I'm gonna finish my retic enclosure at some point, and that's gonna change. But it hasn't yet. But that's in the future. So I will definitely. I'm gonna put a finish on the retic cage. Peaches deserves that. But to be continued.
Yeah. For anybody that isn't aware of your retic cage, it's like what? I mean, 6 feet tall, right? I mean, you can stand up in there.
Yeah, it's like so I am 5'6". The retic enclosure is 5'6.5". So that was by design, and it's like 11 feet long and like 5 feet deep.
Wow. Yeah, that's like, I think that's what most retic keepers should probably aim for, right?
I think so. I mean, there are no boreal snake, dude. They climb.
Yeah.
Just ask mine. I mean, she basks on branches constantly. She's always up on the shelf. She's going up and down and all around, and uses that entire enclosure, and very little of her time is actually spent on the floor. Now, mind you, part of that might be my doing. I don't have any substrate on the floor. I have a floor drain in there and concrete. So it's really easy to pressure wash everything out. And then I have a large bin that has substrate in it that she can hang out on. Otherwise it's perches and stuff like that. So I haven't made the floor the most comfortable place for her to be. But that's the thing I'm going to end up changing is we're going to do lava rock probably on the bottom, and then some filter screen, and do kind of like a bioactive floor in there. As much as I've kind of tried not to do that, I think it's obviously what I should do next. And then I'm going to need a lot more Zoopoxy.
Hell yeah. And she has like a big ass water basin too.
Yeah, she's got a pond.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And does she ever like get into it? Like go fully submerged?
I've never seen her fully submerged. She likes to poop in it all the time. So that is where she poops very consistently. I see her crawl in and out of it a lot. So she'll go down, crawl into it, crawl out, but it's almost like It's just along her mission of her cruise when she's doing that. I've never seen her coil inside of it and chill. That she's never done, to my knowledge.
Right on.
But when she
dude,
sheds, I find pieces of shed, like she'll shed in there. Like she for sure uses it. Appreciate
it's got to be humid as hell in there, right? Yeah. So like she has to have pretty good sheds and everything, right?
Oh yeah, she sheds great. I mean, she still sheds in a bunch of pieces. Retics are kind of weird like that. It's apparently extremely difficult to get full sheds out of a retic. Maybe I'm talking out of my ass. Retic keepers can, put me in my place. But I never have to pick shed off of her. She gets it off. It's just, it still comes off patchy.
Yeah. What do you think about aliens? Do you think aliens are real, Brandon?
Dude, I love aliens. Yeah, 100%. 100% aliens are real. Are you kidding? Totally. Find a better alternative. It's a lot. It'd be, how could they not be real at this point?
They have to be real, right? I guess the question is, are they coming here?
They're already here. They've been here.
You think they're already here?
They've been here, dude. They've been here for thousands of years. The pyramids, aliens. Pretty much every major religion, aliens. All of it, dude. They have their hand on all of it. All of these technologies and crazy stuff, dude. Oh yeah, there's the aliens for sure.
Wait, how can you tie one of the biggest religions, Christianity? You can tie that to aliens?
Well, sort of. So the book of Enoch is interesting because it's not actually a book in the Bible. It's a book that was supposed to be in the Bible that somebody around, I guess it was like 400 AD or whatever, they were putting the King James Bible together. They left, a bunch of books out. And one of those books is the book of Enoch, but it was found in the Dead Sea Scrolls, which makes it extremely legit. And they talk about a lot of crazy stuff in the book of Enoch as far as like watchers coming down and like breeding with people. And then that made like the giants or whatever. Like, I don't know. There's a bunch of crazy stuff about that. The chariot of fire thing in the Bible, like think about it, dude. If you were living in 500 BC or something like that, and you saw a giant flying spaceship, but the only thing that wouldn't that be a chariot in the sky? What else would you're not going to say it's a flying ship. There's no such thing as fucking ships yet. They didn't exist.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Yeah. No, dude, it's a fucking chariot in the sky, man. Like, I don't know. The Ezekiel talking about the wheel within a wheel. There's a lot of weird situations in the Bible that can be very easily explained by aliens. It's like kind of the catch-all, to be honest with you.
I love how lit up you got about aliens.
Yes, I'm a believer. That's why a lot of my snakes are UFO themed.
And Star Wars, right?
Well, yeah, and Star Trek, pretty much in all that stuff. I'm a nerd, dude. I love it. Anything sci-fi. Give me dragons, give me magic, give me aliens, give me something to just take me out of this world,
Yeah. It's good to be able to disconnect from reality and slip into another world. And snakes help me with that. The world doesn't exist when I'm messing with my snakes.
If I ask you to watch something for me, will you do it and then call me?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, it's going to cost you $20.
Oh boy.
There is a movie on Amazon Prime right now called The Age of Disclosure that just came out this year. That is the most up-to-date, in-depth, interesting alien thing that you're going to find. And it's basically a collection of, everybody, dude, like all high-ranking military, high-ranking government, all of these whistleblowers and their testimonies as far as like crash retrieval programs and reverse engineering stuff and all this super classified crap and like what we've seen like on our radars with submarines and all of this super classified stuff that they won't release. And it's all these whistleblowers that are extremely like pronounced are the ones coming out, dude. It's worth it. You should watch it. You will have thoughts. It will meld your brain, dude, by the time you're done rolling through this thing. I'll send you the $20. If you tell you what, you agree to watch it, and I will buy it for you.
All right. Yeah, I'm in. Did you see Pluribus?
No,
on Apple?
That? No.
Oh my God, dude. Oh my God. You would love it.
I don't have Apple.
Dude, you can probably get a week free of Apple Plus or Apple TV or whatever it's called. You could probably get a week free of that and binge this show within that week and then cancel. It is one of the best shows, one of the most original shows I've seen in, I don't know, maybe like 5 years. It's about a alien civilization transmitting an RNA sequence to Earth. And we create the RNA and then everybody becomes a hive mind.
Ooh, yeah. I
You
can
love
see
it,
that's
dude.
my kind of show. The
And
real
there's-
question, dude, I'm telling you right now, the question isn't, are aliens real? The question is, are they aliens or are they time travelers?
Or dimension travelers, you know?
That's where the questions is. Whether or not it's real, you're just not paying attention enough if you don't think it's real. It's freaking real. It's just, what is it? That's the pending question that needs to get answered.
Well, and there's got to be life out there. It would be impossible for there to not be life out there.
Well, how stupid will we have to be to think we're the only intelligent life in the freaking universe, man?
Yeah.
Like, even on our own planet, like, dolphins are close, like chimpanzees are close. You got all this stuff that's like pretty close as far as being smart's concerned. Think that like we are the most intelligent race in the entire universe. Planet, cool. Universe, probably not.
Oh yeah, well, just the galaxy itself is chock full of stars, man.
Yeah, that's totally.
There's
legit.
a lot of stars.
And my question is, like, when are they gonna? When's the disclosure coming? When do we get? Who's the president that's gonna stand in front of everybody and be like, guys, the aliens are here?
Yeah. Well, that's going to be the. Did you see that Steven Spielberg's making a new movie, Disclosure Day?
No, but awesome.
Dude, how are you not? How do I know more? you gotta watch some of this stuff. The trailer looks epic. It looks pretty terrifying.
Okay.
But yeah, Disclosure Day is a new movie coming, and check out Pluribus, dude, because I think if you watch episode 1, you're going to be addicted to the show. I binged it and finished it in 3 nights. I stayed up later than I normally do, 3 nights in a row.
Did you see Skinwalker Ranch?
No.
Dude, what the fuck? Skinwalker Ranch is crazy. Those guys. Now, the thing about Skinwalker Ranch, it's way too made for TV. And I don't know. It's a little too like real worldy for me. But I mean, some of it's crazy though. I don't know. I get excited. I'm just glad there's things in life to be excited about. We get to geek out on that, takes us away from our daily grind, whether it be reptiles, aliens, cars, guns, dogs, whatever you're into, you know what I mean? Sports, like it's just,
yeah,
we're living in a cool existence.
Yeah. You got to have something where you can check in and check out,
100%.
All right, man. Well, I appreciate it, dude. Thanks for coming on again.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me. Go join Adam's Discord.
Yeah, that's right. Thank you for joining the Patreon too. You're a Patreon member. I appreciate you, dude.
Yeah.
You already gave me the $20.
Join Adam's Discord, dude. It's totally worth it.
You already gave me the $20 so I can go watch the disclosure thing.
There we go.